Coming up tonight on Q30 News, Quinnipiac threw a big party last week. The star-studded guest list showed up to celebrate the new medical school.
Plus, Ray and Mike's has a new relationship with QU. Find out more ahead. The news starts now.
Live from the campus of Quinnipiac University, this is the Q30 News Nightcast, only on Q30 Television.
Good evening, Quinnipiac, and welcome to the Q30 News Nightcast. I'm Kristen Campeta.
And I'm Harun.
It was a scary moment for Americans Monday morning when news of a mass shooting at the D.C. Navy Yard spread like wildfire throughout the country. The suspect, 34-year-old Aaron Alexis, is responsible for killing 12 people and injuring 8 others before he was shot to death by security officials. Alexis drove into the Washington Navy Yard early Monday morning, parked his car, and then perched himself on an overlook above the dining hall of Building 197. He then proceeded to open fire on the employees eating breakfast. Alexis entered the Navy Yard with a valid ID. New information revealing his troubled background is coming out each day, prompting officials to question how his security clearance was renewed back in June. Officials say Alexis had become increasingly troubled in previous years and had shown signs of mental problems in recent months. The victims' ages range from 46 to 73. A candlelight vigil was held at Freedom Plaza in Washington Monday night to remember the victims. President Barack Obama will attend a memorial service for the victims at the Navy Yard this Sunday.
Quinnipiac's Frank H. Netter, MD School of Medicine, has begun its inaugural semester to celebrate this milestone. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held with some high-profile guests. Q30 reporters were there at the ceremony to get a closer look.
My expectations are that it will become the best medical school in the world. It will put out the best physicians and the best healthcare providers, and that means all the people that are involved with it, but the medical school specifically. And I think that it's going to be great people that will come out here that will do great things.
You've got to have the resources, and I think this school seems to be developing the kind of support that can make real that kind of mission.
And it's a great atmosphere to learn. There's no real competition between students because it's a pass-fail curriculum, so we're all helping each other out and working towards this common goal together.
This time next year we'll be at a dedication for the law school on this campus, and that'll free up the law school building on the Mount Carmel campus, which will free up a very large building, 135,000 square feet, and our undergraduate students, particularly our engineering students and our communication students, will be able to have more space there, and also it'll free up space in the business school where the business school can have more of their facilities. So we're not only dedicating this building and the law center, but by next year we will have effectively given a brand new building to our undergraduates on Mount Carmel, and we pretty much will have just our undergraduates will be educated and living on the Mount Carmel campus and the York Hill campus. Those will be our 2 undergraduate campuses, and this place here in North Haven will be primarily for graduate students.
The rugby squad is teaming up with a new sponsor. Ray and Mike's Deli has endorsed the team, making it their first sponsorship deal. Each teammate pays dues to cover field, referee, and equipment fees, but the new endorsement will help cut costs, and Ray and Mike's their logo will be printed across the chest of the team's new uniforms. With the financial reduction, the new blue rugby team hopes to attract new players. And last Saturday marked Quinnipiac's 5th annual Helping Hands Day. Students volunteered 3 hours of service, giving back to the Hamden and New Haven communities. More than 300 students signed up for the event, sponsored by the university's Community Action Project, or CAP. Students visited over 30 sites and were involved in activities ranging from car washes to park cleanup. CAP hopes that students continue to give back to these communities throughout the year.
While Quinnipiac students and faculty were enjoying another summer vacation away from all the homework and tests, one professor at QU was spending his summer a little differently. I sat down with journalism professor Ben Bagardis and found out why his job this summer had him pulling a few all-nighters.
When college students head home for the summer in May, many of them look forward to a relaxing break from school and work. Most professors have the summers off too, so they also can enjoy the summer weather. However, one professor here at Quinnipiac University spent his summer a little differently. Ben Bagardis, a journalism professor at QU, spent his summers working the overnight shift at WFSB Channel 3 in Connecticut. So, while his students were sleeping, Bagardis was producing the news, and for a few different reasons.
Number one is I have the summers off, being the academic life, and so I needed something to fill my time. And I also wanted to stay current in the industry. I've been teaching here for 3 years now, and in the 3 years, a lot has changed in the media, the way news is produced, the way it's put on the air. So I wanted to stay current in that because I teach a class in newscast production.
Because he was the overnight producer, Bagardis would arrive at the news station around 11:30 at night to prepare for the 5 a.m. newscast. He says he enjoyed working the overnight shift, but adjusting to its odd hours wasn't always easy.
It's difficult in the sense that when you're doing the shift, long term, 5 days a week for however long, a year or so, you get used to it. You can your body adjusts. But when you're doing it sort of come and go, 2-3 days a week, it's hard to put yourself on that schedule and then put it back on the schedule.
As far as advice for his students, Bagardis had plenty. He emphasized just how important it is to be versatile, to be able to write, edit, and shoot video well, saying that those are the skills needed to be successful.
In these days, news directors are hiring people to do everything. A lot of times even the names of the jobs have changed. They're no longer hiring reporters, they're hiring multimedia reporters. And why do they say that? Because they want you to, go in thinking, I'm not just doing this on TV, I'm also doing it, it's going to be posted on the web, I'm going to have to write up web stories for this. I need to think multi-platforms when I do this. So if you can, again, convince the news director that you can do that, you set yourself apart from other people.
And for the future, Bagardis says he hopes to continue doing what he loves most, both teaching and producing.
I enjoy producing newscasting. I enjoy teaching here a lot, but you sort of miss the newsroom, you miss the feel, you miss the excitement of the putting together a daily show. So being able to do that during my breaks and then teach here during the semester is sort of the best of both worlds.
Looking to help save a life, the Red Cross is giving you the opportunity. A blood drive will be held at the North Haven campus tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. For appointments, please call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit their website at redcrossblood.org.
And coming up on the news, a Quinnipiac professor has a new high-profile job. Find out where ahead.
And a popular TV show is redefining the term anticipation. There may be a new solution to exercising while working.
Plus, we've got your first look at the weather with meteorologist Shara Schreiner.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. A business professor at Quinnipiac is taking on a new job as a diplomat. Christopher Ball, an international economics teacher, will be inaugurated Thursday as honorary consul of Hungary for Connecticut. Ball was selected by the Hungarian government and is recognized by the U.S. State Department. As part of his job, which is unpaid, Ball will promote academic exchanges with the U.S. along with many other cultural and economic factors. He will also represent interests of Hungarian citizens and corporate bodies in America. And sounds of motors and mayhem could be heard all the way from Hamden on Sunday. South Meriden held its second annual car extravaganza, and our own John Alba was there to find out more about this community event.
There were memories, there was music, and there were motors.
Everybody loves cars, and everybody comes to see them. It's just one of those things where everybody had one, so everybody wants to look at one.
Nearly 300 vehicles lined Main Street for Sunday's South Meriden Car Show extravaganza. Some of them were flashy, some were super, and thousands of people came to support the event.
I think this is a great thing not only for the car clubs that have participated today, but also for South Meriden. It's a beautiful day and it's a beautiful event.
A few of the rides seemed straight out of Henry Ford's factory, and others were just plain bizarre. But that didn't stop this youngster from showcasing his speed demon for everyone.
Helping kids get in my car, it just makes me happy.
The cars on display come in several different shapes and sizes, and some of them come with celebrity status. Like this one, for example.
This is a 210 57 Chevy, a Bel Air. This car was filmed in the Indiana Jones movie. They did 3 major scenes in the movie. I drove it in 2, and the stunt driver drove it in 1.
Gaspari bought the car more than 15 years ago in Colorado. But he says he's not against selling the $100,000 vehicle, even after it was graced by Han Solo himself.
I'll sell anything at the right number, you know, but I'm not in a hurry to sell it.
From South Meriden, John Alba, Q30 News.
Coming up, rescue and recovery efforts are underway after historic flooding destroyed a big part of the Colorado area. Plus, a cruise ship disaster turned engineering milestone brings new hope to a damaged vessel.
More details on these world stories when we come back. Keep it tuned to Q30 News.
Colorado residents offer each other a helping hand. The U.S. Army and the National Guard continues to rescue those still stuck in the flood. They are flying in with helicopters to save those who are stranded. The Colorado Office of Emergency Management says 8 people have died. According to the state, the flood has damaged almost 19,000 homes. The National Guard says more than 2,100 people with their pets have been rescued so far. The Syrian conflict continues to be analyzed. UN weapons inspectors say they have evidence that nerve gas was used in Syria. They found the use of sarin within rockets during the chemical weapons attack, which Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says is a war crime. These details make it clear to the US and UK that the regime could be responsible for the attack, but Russia still thinks rebel terrorists are at fault. And the Costa Concordia is finally sitting upright in Giglio, Italy. The cruise ship has been on its side for 20 months after running aground and capsizing, killing dozens in 2012. With the use of large pulleys, cables, and steel tanks, a salvage crew has lifted the ship off of the rocks. They then got the vessel on its platform 4 hours later. It has been a long and complex process, but the head of the technical team says the operation was a success. Salvage crews continue to work on the ship since major repairs still need to be done. That's it for World News. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Caitlin. So the popular show Mad Men will stick around until 2015, but the show has a new twist.
The AMC hit, which has attracted millions of viewers, will be divided into 2 parts. AMC has revealed that the first 7 episodes will air next spring, but viewers will have to be forced to wait until 2015 for the final tribute. And most 10-year-olds spend their money on video games and candy, but this one little boy spent his summer savings on something much different.
Surveillance videos capture this little boy walking to the Greenfield, Wisconsin Police Department with a bag of change. He drops off the bag and then leaves the station anonymously. The police department tracked down Max Seipert to ask about the $10.03 donation.
Max says his summer savings were given in honor of his grandfather who died as a police officer in the line of duty. Max never met his grandfather, and the gift means much more than the amount. There's been no word yet on how the department will spend the money, but that's just a very, very nice story.
That is a nice story, and it's very mature of such a young boy to even know to go and give money to the police department. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, to think of what he could be spending his money on or what thoughts are in his head, as we said, maybe buying candy or something, he decided, give it to charity. That was really nice.
Absolutely, but now we're going to go to Steph with health news.
Thanks, guys. An Austin, Texas woman with cancer is turning to Twitter in hope of saving her life. 45-year-old Andrea Salone is losing a 7-year battle with ovarian cancer. Her doctor believes that her last hope is a drug not yet approved. The FDA calls it BMN 673, created by BioMarin Pharmaceuticals. The FDA does offer other options for patients like Salone, called compassionate use. This allows drug companies to offer experimental drugs to extremely ill patients, but Salone cannot get into a clinical trial for the drug because the company says it is, quote, too early to know if the experimental therapy is safe or effective or will even prolong life. Salone's Twitter campaign is directed at BioMarin, and her petition on change.org has collected more than 30,000 signatures. The parents of a 4-year-old Mississippi boy are advising other parents to be cautious after their child died from a rare brain-eating amoeba. Authorities say the child contracted the parasite after playing on a water slide while visiting St. Bernard Parish in July. Louisiana health officials have confirmed that the deadly parasite is in the water supply at the parish. Several area schools have shut off drinking fountains and brought in bottled water. The parish has added disinfectant to the water as a precaution. Health officials say the water is safe to drink, but they avoid getting it in their noses. In Charlotte, North Carolina, there are 73,000 people that lack access to fresh produce. When Robin Emmons realized the community was paying a high price to try and get to the near supermarkets, she wanted to fix the problem. She turned her garden into 9 acres of land to feed the people of Charlotte. She runs her own market and has about 200 volunteers that help her harvest her food. She brings the food to the community and cuts the cost in half compared to the grocery store. Since 2008, her and her team have grown 26,000 pounds of food to help keep the town of Charlotte healthy. I'm Steph Sana with your health news for the week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Steph. Now going back to weather a little bit, can you tell us what we should be expecting in the next few days?
Well, Quinnipiac students will be breaking out their raincoats and umbrellas this weekend for the incoming rain, but there'll be more weather after this break.
Oh, I'm coming.
Good evening, Quinnipiac. Looking at our Connecticut weather, we have 65s all up in here, and then we have in the north we get a little bit colder. And looking at our national weather, on the west coast it's pretty quiet, and here you see 92 in Dallas. We have a cold front moving up into the northeast, so when we look at the radar, you see it's clear here, and there should be, this will come up, the cold front will come up in here. And then looking at tonight, it's 49, clear. Winds at southwest 4 miles an hour. And then tomorrow, we have 75, sunny. Southwest winds at 8 miles an hour. And then we go up to 80 and 81 on Thursday and Friday. And then you see the rain coming in on Saturday into next week.
Thanks, Sarah. So, you know, it kind of stinks that we're starting to get some rain, especially for this weekend. I know it's sorority recruitment this weekend, and I'm going to be there, so it's, you know, a lot of girls coming in, you know, doing their hair and makeup clothes, and they're going to have to walk in the rain, those poor girls.
Yeah, all the rain, the colder temperatures, a big change since just last week. It was much warmer.
It was, what, in the 80s last week, and even today it was hot. I had long pants and long sleeves and boots on today.
Yeah, with one day when it was almost 90 degrees last week, and then it got cooler again, and then today nobody knows what to wear, just like as you said, because it was cooler in the morning, warmed up throughout the day. It's kind of confusing what's going on with the weather.
I know. I feel like I don't know what to wear tomorrow. You know, like I don't know what to dress for. Even, you know, if the weather says it's going to be nice, then sometimes it's cold.
That's right, but now we're going to head over to entertainment with Julia and Olivia.
A very popular couple is no more.
And the new Miss America is dealing with controversy instead of victory.
Hey guys, I'm Liv.
And I'm Julia, and this is our entertainment update.
All the ladies will be happy to hear this. Liam Hemsworth is officially back on the market. One of Miley's reps confirmed that the 2012 engagement between Miley and Liam has been called off. The two lovebirds met in 2010 on the set of their movie The Last Song, and after postponing the wedding earlier this year, the couple has now split for good. Miley is clearly a wreck about this and unfollowed her ex-fiancé on Twitter earlier this week.
Nina Davaluri, the most recent winner of Miss America, is the first American Indian woman to win Miss America pageant. Not everybody was basking in her glory as she took her first walk as a winner. Some tweets read, "If you're hashtag Miss America, you should have to be American." And while another read, "When will a white woman win hashtag Miss America ever?" Asked another, Davaluri was upset by this comment.
And in other entertainment news, Zac Efron has come clean, claiming he has struggled with drug and alcohol abuse.
Efron was received treatment and says he's good, real good. You know, Liv, it's so sad, just like a lot of these teen stars, that he unfortunately struggled with substance abuse. But, you know, I'm Julia Timpanaro.
And I'm Liv Dufo.
Hey, good evening, Bobcats. I'm Micah Bailey with your sports. Quinnipiac men's soccer survived a thriller this weekend against Holy Cross and a record-breaking performance from one freshman on the women's golf team. And nothing is sweeter than for Boston fans than beating the Yankees. I'll get you all filled in just a minute. Quinnipiac men's soccer snagged their first win of the season with a 1-0 victory over Holy Cross. A late-game handball called against the Crusaders led to a penalty kick for the Bobcats. Senior captain Simon Hind sent the winning goal into the back of the net, clinching their fourth straight win over Holy Cross. They played Army today and ended with a 0-0 tie after double overtime. They play Hartford next Tuesday. And it was a record-breaking weekend for one member of the women's golf team. Freshman Nicole Scola broke 2 Quinnipiac records at the Dartmouth Invitational. She destroyed the program's single record with a 72-under on the second day of the tournament. She finished 4th overall with the program's all-time best score for a 36-hole tournament with a 146 on the weekend. Women's golf will carry that momentum with them to the Yale Invitational on September 20th. And the Boston Red Sox are back on top as Fenway Park bid Mariano Rivera a final regular season farewell. The Sox sent the Yankees home winless this weekend in a less friendly fashion. The Red Sox swept the Yankees in a 3-game series over the weekend, eliminating them from the AL East race. Sunday's win was their 92nd of the year, giving them the best record in baseball. That's all for tonight. I'm Micah Bailey with your Q30 Sports. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Micah. That's all for Q30 News tonight.
If you'd like to get involved in Q30 News, please visit our website at www.q30.org and visit our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with the latest in local and Quinnipiac news. Good night.